Mount Scrapper with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here today with another episode of Free Pattern Friday. Yay! It's Free Pattern Friday. Today I've picked a very lovely, simple beginner-friendly block. It's called Easy Leaf, and this one you can arrange it different ways. I chose this arrangement because I think it would create a unique effect throughout a quilt if you were to do them, and this is a perfect one to use up your greens on. Just perfect. Very quick, very simple, and we're just going to have a lot of fun with this. Now, before we get started on this, let's do our shout-outs before I forget. Sandra K, Quilts and Sews, and the Lone Star Crafter. Now, Sandra, I'm assuming that's her first name, but the Lone Star Crafter, I checked around, I couldn't find a first name because I don't have a lot of time to check around for first names, but anyways, both these ladies, or both these people have very interesting voices, and they're very talented as well. So you guys are gonna go check them out. Go check them out just to see if there's anything that would interest you. Now, both of the YouTubers channels are going to be in our show notes or description box below, and it's, you know, kind of, you know, you guys go check them out. You might find somebody you really like and want to hit the subscribe button for, and when you do, tell them that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you over. Now, we also have a whole bunch of other things to discuss, like we have a Facebook group, and we have all sorts of fabric exchanges by country, ski close the cost down, fun community chats. Wow, there's lots of chatting going on. My phone goes ding 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 all day long. But we just have a blast in there. Virtual sewing rooms hosted by Discord. And so now you have a 24/7 basically sew date, and the people that come in there and sew, they just have a good time. Also, what the admins say, please answer the questions, agree to the rules. They're doing their best to keep the riffraff and scammers out, to keep it safe for the quilters. So this is kind of important to them. Also, I speak for free to quilting guilds and quilting groups, so if you're trying to get a hold of me, my email address is under the About tab, or you can go to the Facebook group and message me directly there. We just have such a good time talking to quilting groups and guilds. It's wonderful. Also, if you have shout outs, that would be important. Send me it either by the About tab, email address, or the Facebook group. I am amazed at the number of wonderful shout outs you guys have come up with. And just don't tell them that we're giving them a shout out, because we're trying to sneak around and do something nice for people too. Also, I'm involved in 2 collaborations. The first collaboration is with Donna, Handmade by Ying with Donna. Now, she's assembled a bunch of people to do back to basics. And those back to basics are going to be just all sorts of easy, fast skills for beginners to know. Now, if you've been around for a while and you picked up a few bad habits, that's also the perfect videos for you guys to look at and do and practice on, because they're going to be fun. It's a fun group of YouTubers. Also, I have the Quilters Challenge, Quilter Circle Challenge coming up, and that involves Michelle from Bits and Pieces, Deb from Sewing with Debbie, Kelly from Silly Moon Quilting, Sam Elberts, Kelly from Kelly's Quilts Plus, and Future Cat from New Zealand. And we're coming up with themes, and we're challenging not only each other, but challenging each other's viewers. And we've had some amazing stuff come out of those challenges. The theme, my theme was florals. It's already been on. And I was really surprised on the number of what that means to people, whether it's floral fabric or making floral blocks or doing other things. It was just like, wow. I was really impressed. So that's something to kind of think about here. Now, the Zoom sew dates are also there listed, the first Saturday of every month from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, because I'm in Alberta, Canada. And if you don't have sewing to bring that day, just bring your your cross stitch or whatever. We're more inclusive than exclusive, right? And we have fun in there. Also, help us out by making comments, thumbs up, share, like, subscribe, hype on your cell phones if you know how to do that. Hyping helps us a lot. And hitting the bell. All of those things help us move our analytics forward, and we can continue bringing quilters more fun-free patterns. So I think that's it. Yes, it is. Come on in. And let's get to the sewing of Easy Leaf. Okay, we're at the sewing machine. Easy Leaf. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to take this and put this down on top right? Somewhere in the middle. Like I made these a little bit longer. These 1-inch strips a little bit longer than I needed to, but that's okay. That's okay. We just trim them off what we don't need. And now we're going to sew all 4 of them. And I'll show a cute little trick with this. This is a great way of making blocks with more complex looking blocks without, you know, having all the complexity, right? So you just basically cut a 3.5-inch square block, and you cut it from corner to corner once, and you put in a 1-inch strip, right, of fabric. And if your 1/4 inch is perfect, this will line up beautifully. You know, it's kind of one of those silly tricks because of that 1-inch. You know, you got a 1/4 inch on one side, a 1/4 inch on the other side. You know, and it's going to, you're going to have a 1/2 inch strip of brown, in this case, running through your block, which creates this lovely little stem. And everybody's, you know, like, it's not hard to do, right? It really isn't hard to do. Yeah, there's cheats and things for all of this kind of thing, right? But there we go. Now this may worry some of you, but it's okay. Trust me, it works. Okay, so you want to press that this way. You want to press to the dark. Right, there we go. Now, I'm going to take another one, and we're just going to line this up. There's a couple of ways of doing this. You can line this up so there's even amounts of fabric showing through from the bottom, which works. Or what you can do, there's another way of doing this too. There's always like 3 or 4 different ways of doing it, but okay. I'm going to press to the dark again. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to line up the low volume the best you can, and you're going to create a mark on the brown as to where the center is. Then you're going to take your low volume and finger press in that, and then match up your peaks, match them up. There you go. Very quick, very easy to do. Whatever method you want to use, it works. You can either be a visual person, but if you're not good at lining up stuff in the middle, right, then use the pinch method where you pinch the middle. You know, that's always helpful. There we go. And again, last one. This is the hardest part, by the way, is adding this 1-inch strip in. And we'll do the pinch method. The pinch method, of course, is lining these up perfectly, then pinching in. There we go. And pinching there and lining it up where you've pinched it and throwing another. So the more practice you do with this technique, the easier it becomes. That's something for you to remember, right? It's kind of an interesting little way of doing things, right? But it nevertheless will work. Now, when you're doing it, put the second side on, what you want to do is you want to trim away that extra brown, and you just trim like that. You make it into a square. There we go, just like that. And again, you could take these to the ironing board as well and give them a good press. I'm pretty confident when we do these, you know, that I've got that perfect 3.5 inch square, because my 1/4 inch is pretty good. Pretty close. Oh, oops. Oops, oops, oops. There we go. There, wow. Another one. Here, we'll get this one off too. There. Now I probably used a strip that was too long, but that's okay. That's okay. Just make sure when you're line them out, you line them out so that they, you know, at least look like stems and don't have something like all this thing going across. Yeah. Across the leaf bottom, there was a mutant stem. And what I mean by a mutant stem, I mean this. Don't sew them in like that. That would be bad. That one there, that's wrong. You gotta sew it like this. Okay, now, let's get, first off is you've got your triangle. So what you do is you line that up at the bottom, right? Line it up from the bottom to the point. There we go. There we go. Again. And there we go. I'm just working my way around the block here. Oh, that's wrong. There we go. Now watch, I was probably sewn all 4 of them wrong. That would not be fun, but I mean, it has happened. There we go. Press out that way. There we go. And I want to take this right away and sew it that way. There we go. There. Now you want to press this out like that. There. There, and now you want to lay this so this corner matches. Oops, this corner matches, and you want to go like this. Okay. There we go. Nice. Nice and neat. Nice and neat. There we go, just like that. And let's see. Away and away. Okay. There we go. Yep. We're filming this in April. So yeah, we have a really wild storm going through the prairies right now. So that's making life interesting again. Okay, there we go. Get everything laid out. And now we sew. Okay, so the hardest part is now all done. That's it. That was the hard part. The hard part doesn't seem that hard, does it? So what we want to do is we want to take this and we want to line up the pointy bits. Okay, and there we go. Now, X marks the spot here when we went this way and this way. This is our point. Now we do not want to miss that point, and we don't want to cut it off. So we want to make sure we get as close as we can. That's why we're sewing it this way with this up. Okay, there we go. Bang, there. Get that up, there. Again, I'll show you here a little bit better. Actually, I'll darken it with some pencil. So here is our X. Across like this, and across like this. So we do not wish, okay, that's where that X is. See where the stitch line here and the stitch line here, where that intersects? That's the point of your block. And you do not want to be cutting off the point. The point is perfection. When you make that point, it looks, everything in your block looks so much nicer. It just works. Now, we can kind of steer if we're a little off, which we're not off by much. And I cannot tell you enough times how that easy angle ruler has changed my life. That one to do these half square triangles. These are just gorgeous, gorgeous rulers to work with. And again, we're doing this. We're not sewing it like that because we can't see our point. If you can't see your point, you're going to cut off your point. Let's put it that way. That's probably the easiest way to remember it. If you're a beginner, you must be able to see the point in order to make the point. Okay. Now this one came up a little shy, but that's okay. There. And flip it over, press away. Yes, we have a perfect point again. Hooray. And we'll just clip off that one dog ear. And the last one comes out to play. Nice. I got the easy angle ruler to cut my triangle. Oh, what a quick way of doing this. This came together like a charm. Okay. Woohoo, right there. Just perfection again. There we go. There we go. Now, see, such an easy leaf. You could take this and put every kind of green you want in your quilt, or you could make it all fall colors, or whatever you wanted to do with this. This would just be such a pretty quilt. Okay, now, there's a couple ways of laying out these blocks. This on its own is kind of a pretty little leaf block. A very simple, beginner-friendly leaf block. And yes, we made all our points. Oh, so nice. Now, what you can do with this is you can put all the points in like that. And, you know, each one of them would match up, and you'd have to make sure all your seams were here, you know, like everything would match up. And I would suggest using pins. But when you flip them like that, every second one, you know, the next one's got this kind of thing going on too, right? So you kind of create a chaining effect that's not really there in your quilt. Very quick, very easy to do. Now, when you're sewing it like this, you don't have to match any seams up now. So I decided, okay, let's do the easy way, because we have some beginners that just like, wow, your blocks are beautiful, but they're so hard. Well, we gotta keep encouraging the beginners, because if we don't have beginners, we don't have people quilting in 40 years, right? So let's encourage them. Okay, there we go. Here's one side. Flip it over, line it up. There we go. And now these will nest this way, right? These big ones will nest this way. So that's the only place really you're nesting is here, right at the edge. Okay. Now cut that apart. Okay, pull that out. Check it before you finish it. There it is. Okay, there. Now, it's going to nest this way as well, right? So that's also really nice. Nice thing to have. Because then your block is going to, make sure your block is lying nice and flat. And the center, I'm going to press to the dart. I'm going to make sure everything gets in there that needs to be there. There. And now this nests together. Line it up. Now you have a little fullness on top. That's okay. There. And there we go. And there is your block. So, what we did, just a quick recap on the ironing instructions, and we can open this baby up. We can pop this open and make that center lie really flat if we like. There we go. Just have it press just like so. Okay. So I popped my center open. You can do however you want to do this. Now, the white piece, it all gets pressed into the dark, right? Very simple. So now my 1/4 inch seam, because you can see a black line, is a little on the skinny side. That's okay. I'll feed it a burger and fries later and make it a little chubbier. Everything else gets pressed away from the light. These triangles here, they all get pressed away. And then the bigger pieces here, they get pressed away from all of the seams, right? So you're pressing to the path of least resistance, right? To make the block flat. So this is a really easy one that comes together. Let me give this a press. The points came out beautifully, like wow. And let me give it a real good press and we'll get back with our ta-da moment. Okay, here's our easy leaf pattern. So beginner friendly. Nothing to really match up. No stressing out. No, none of this. Yes, this unit right here is the hardest bit. You saw me do it, right? I mean, and I gave you 2 different ways on how to match up your triangles. So this, this does become a very easy block. And of course, as you're sewing in your triangle, you matching that outside edge, right? So everything fits beautifully in. Now, when you're putting this together as a quilt, one block would go this way, the next block would go this way. You could have all sorts of fun little designs because it is an asymmetrical block. And if you just laid them out like this, you would create a partial chain, visual partial chain throughout the quilt going in both directions, right? So that would be fun too, right? So yeah, there's all sorts of things we can play with this block because it's asymmetrical. Anyways, I hope life is treating you very gently and, everyone around you is being kind and sweet to you. So, and maybe win Bobbin Chicken because I haven't won in a long time. The one day I won 3 times. And then I haven't won since. I was just like, yeah, I'm never going to win again probably because I used up all my luck already. But anyways, you guys take care and stay well and all that other good stuff until we see each other again. Okay, bye! My husband and I would like to thank you for all of your support and watching our videos and sharing and liking. It has just been, you've put us on such an amazing journey and we are having so much fun. I hope everything is going so well in your life and, your 1/4 inch is perfect. Everything is working out for you. And we're just so happy to be part of your life and you having, like I say, you're watching us. I was just so thrilled that you're doing that. So I want to say goodbye and I want to thank you with all my heart. Okay? Take care. Bye.